Hello, visionaries. You guys were wondering about my spiritual teacher, so I brought her here today. Mm, how is everybody? I'm so excited about today's event. So, welcome, everyone. We're just going to take a second to get organized here and to share in the group. And then we're going to dive into the intel for today. The discussion today is the human design way, living your design, understanding what human design is, understanding the basics, and understanding why it's so important for spiritual awakening. What are the concepts of spiritual development and the movement from the 3D to the 5D? How does that align with human design? And why is it so important right now that we understand these concepts? So if you are here live, welcome. Please type in the chat if you wouldn't mind. If you are new here, just put a 1 in the chat. If you are listening to the replay, please type in replay. We do try and comment on all of the comments, even if it is after the fact. And oh, great. Thank you so much, Davidian. Yay. Okay. So we have some new people that I wanted to welcome into the group and into our space and into our community. And we really want to talk about the beginning and the depth and why human design is so important. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. So why don't you guys also go ahead and let me know if you are what your human design type is. If you're a generator, projector, manifesting generator, if you're a manifester, reflector. So we'd love to hear what type you are. So please type in the chat and let us know so we know who we are talking to. Hey, Dana, first time. Awesome. It's so good to have you. So for those of you who don't know me, you guys probably do, but you may not know all of my history. My name is Raquel Reyna. I'm here with my partner, Davidian Lion, and we have a company that helps our clients to understand and unleash their unique genius. New to this series, but not to you. Oh, awesome. Laughing Through Life. The best name ever. Bree, hello, manifester. Hello, hey, Vicky. Hi. Hey, Leslie, projector. Alice, awesome mental projector. Woohoo! We got a lot of different types here. How exciting is that, right? How cool is that? All right, I'm going to take my glasses off for a minute. So this is going to be really fun. So if you guys are new to human design, you're going to frigging love this. So I want to give us this really intense foundation to understand how to utilize human design. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about my own personal journey. I was in my 20s when I had this synchronistic power journey meeting a shaman. Now, this was a shaman who was really intense, who did work out of his living room and really helped us to learn and shift energies and understand that there's more to life than we think. And that ignited my spiritual journey. And I was a deep seeker. I went and traveled all over the world to all of the ancient sites, to Egypt, to Mexico, Tulum, Peru. We did all of the power spots and really ignited the places inside that were available for spiritual awakening. And I had so many journeys in spirit and lucid dreaming, out of body experiences, all kinds of awakenings. And yet I really was struggling and did struggle with having a career that ignited my spiritual gifts. So I kind of would push down my spirituality and go and, go to work and go do my thing. And I had sort of, not really knowing how to exist on this earth plane. And so what happened was I ended up working in a corporate company, working for corporate America. And it was there when I started to realize that something wasn't right. I was not in the right place. I was not with the right people. I was not living the right life for me. My soul knew I needed more and wanted more. I felt this bubbling up. I felt discomfort. I felt like I needed my soul purpose. Like there was so many signs that this was not correct for me. And yet I did not know how to move from this corporate career that was paying for my mortgage and paying for my life into a more spiritual career. And this is when I discovered that I was a projector in human design. And it was like this little pinprick of information that created a cataclysmic transformation within my psyche. It was not a little piece of information for me. It was an earthquake. And so much of my life began to shake loose and began to change. And because it explained me on such a deep level, I said yes to it. I said, you know what? I'm going to study this. I'm going to let it take me wherever it takes me. So, one of the first things they teach you in human design is to commit to the experiment. So, it's not about listening and learning and reading about it. It's about saying, yes, I'm going to try the experiment. And what I mean by the experiment, they say to do it for 7 years, but I like to ask people to commit to 3 months. So, for those of you who are here live, let me know how long you've been in the experiment. And if you're very, very new, you want to just ask yourself, am I willing to commit to 3 months? And this is a very personal commitment. It's not anything you need to outwardly do. You just need to inwardly make the commitment. So I'm going to ask you guys who are here live if you have already been on the experiment or if you are willing to make a 3-month experiment living your design. Living it is so magical. If you knew all of the magical gifts, you would not hesitate even for a second. But go ahead and type in the chat and let me know. Hey, Debbie, OMG. You were on my mind today. I was like, I've got to get a hold of Debbie. Hey, Erica. Oh my God, we got a couple manifestors here. This is so awesome. So 3-month commitment to experimenting with your design. Just put a yes or a no in the chat. Or if you've been doing it for a couple months, like I've been on the experiment for 5, 6, 7 months, let me know how many months you've already been on it and what you've been doing. Oh my God, Lauren. Hey, Lauren. It's been 4 years already for you. So Lauren is now in my level 3 certification. She's rocking it out, and you are blowing me away. All of the transformations you've been having. Very resistance when I learned I was a projector. I didn't want to wait. So I want you guys to know I had a lot of resistance learning I was a projector too. And it's really, really true that I just said, because in my mind I kept thinking, nah, I'm such a major manifester. There's no way this is correct for me. And I just kind of dismissed it. But then I just kept hearing over and over and over again. And I was like, that's me, that's me, that's me. So I couldn't deny it. So Vicky's an emotional generator. I have to wait 24 hours, but I want to say yes. Well, if you already know you have to wait 24 hours, then you're already in your experiment, right? So you're already in the journey. So for those of you who are really new, Dana says totally new and very willing. I'm so excited, Dana. This is going to be really, really fun. So, for those of you who have just jumped on, we're asking you to type in the chat your type and if you're willing to make the commitment to living your experiment. Now, I'm going to explain what this means. So, human design is a complicated science. It really is. It merges things we know about. It merges the chakra system. It merges the I Ching. It merges the Tree of Life, the Kabbalah. So these are ancient mystery school teachings. And then it also merges some of the new science like quantum physics and neutrino sciences. And it puts it together, plus astrology, right? It puts it together in such a way that ignites a spiritual awakening. And a lot of people won't call it a spiritual awakening in human design because it's not exactly that language. And they want you to know that it's something different than what we normally see in the in the modern day new age spirituality. And so they wanted you to experiment with it to find something new. And what that means is you have to try it on. It's just like if you put this beautiful, elegant coat on and it changes your life and you notice it, then it becomes real for you. It's very different than reading in a catalog, oh, here's what the coat's going to look like, A, B, and C. Also, you could think of it like, reading a book on scuba diving, right? You're reading a book on scuba diving and it's like, oh, you're going to do this, then you're going to jump in the water and da, 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 but you really don't understand it until you get in the water. Okay. And so the only way to really have the experience is to experiment with it. So, Brie, I am going to tell you everything. So, here's what the experiment consists of. It's really quite simple, even though human design can be infinitely complex. So you can study it for years and years and years through pages and pages. There are a lot of books, there's a lot of details. If you guys know my work at all, you know that I've already taught classes on rave cosmology, rave psychology, the four radical transformations, manifestation by design. So all of these levels are from the founder, Ra Uru Hu. He wrote layer upon layer upon layer of information that he received in an 8-day encounter with what he called the voice. It's basically like an 8-day download of information that was new on the planet. And that was in 1987. So it's still relatively new information. And I think that it's still relatively new for most people on the planet. We still have about, according to human design, they think it's about 4% of the population that's introduced to human design. So there are a lot of people that are still new and coming on and getting turned on to the information. And because of what's happening now astrologically, and because of what's happening now with the turning of the wheel, we're shifting into a new realm come 2027 where knowing your human design is really what they say, according to human design, is the thing and the information and the piece that is going to help us to transform and be capable of holding during this time of chaos and change. And so this is why this is such a huge calling for me, because it created such a big change. And all of my clients have outrageous life changes. And all of my clients have power journeys, because that's my design, to ignite and instigate and initiate the powerful transformation. And so many of my clients have had life changes. And so that is what I mean by igniting the experiment. So what it means is saying to yourself, I am going to try and live my strategy and inner authority for the next 3 months. And here's the good news, it's actually quite simple. And you don't have to like spend an hour a day meditating or doing anything. You just integrate it into your life. Okay. So some of you here have already been doing that, but I have a lot of you that are brand new to the material. So let's talk about what this means. So for those of you who are projectors, just go ahead and put a P in the chat. I know we have a couple of a couple already that have put in, but anyone else who is a projector, go ahead and put it in your chat so I know who the projectors are, because I'm going to start with projectors. I'm going to give you a little bit of your strategy or inner authority. Then I'm going to go through each type. We have a lot of manifestors here too. And so I'm going to go through all of them. Okay. So, Estelle, did you know that was my mom's name? I love that name, Estelle. Oh my God, look at all these beautiful projectors. Alice, Melissa, Sarah, it's so exciting. Kelly is a manifester. Okay, so projectors. I'm going to start with you. Your strategy. Is that your aunt's name too? Oh my God. I honestly never met an Estelle like except my mom. It's a really unusual name. I don't meet that many Raquels either. I love Estelle. And she spelled it exactly like that too. Hey, Wesley, you made it. Good to see you. Okay, so projectors. First off, I want you to know when I start going into other groups and spiritual groups, and people start talking about human design, the projectors are always like, I hate being a projector. That's like what I get all the time. Why am I a projector? I don't want to be a projector. But when you're in human design, you start to realize that projectors are the very, very powerful type in human design. We haven't fully, our time has not fully come yet. We have not fully been recognized yet, but our time is coming. And what that means is come 2027, there is a passing of the torch, and the projectors are going to take on the leadership role to lead, guide, and direct. But how do we do that? Well, it's going to take all of the population or all of the types to recognize the projector, because the projector has to be invited to lead. We have to be invited to lead. If we're not invited, then all of you amazing manifestors, manifesting generators, and generators are not going to get the beautiful gifts that we are here to provide for you. And here's the beautiful thing about projectors moving into the leadership role: we cannot lead alone. We have to lead together as a community. So this is going to create a dynamic, collaborative energy that we've never seen before on the planet, because a manifestor does not need other people to lead. Manifestors can lead on their own. Okay. And so the fact that we're making this shift, even the manifestors are going to have to rely more on the generators and the manifesting generators and the projectors. Okay. So projectors, what your experiment is your strategy, which is to wait for the invitation. And I know you've probably heard that before, even if you're new to human design. So I want to explain what that means and how it changed my life. So when I first came to human design, I knew as a projector I was burned out. I knew that I couldn't keep up with what I was doing at corporate. I knew that I had tried many things before, tried to start businesses, and I would get crickets. And I had a lot of pain around not being recognized. And it was just a deep sense that I struggled to be heard. I even had like just kind of pain in my throat, like just the struggle. And I was always loud in a group because I was trying to be heard and trying to be seen. All of my ideas would be stolen. All of my, anything I was doing, people were copying it or using my ideas. And that's all part of the projector plight. So, what it felt to me was when I learned how to get still and I learned how to really get inside my own energy. And then I just started to look around at who really got me and who really recognized me and the questions they were asking. And then all of a sudden, I had more energy because I wasn't trying so hard to be seen. And so my energy started to return to my body. I had more energy to do things. And I only began to move when I was recognized. And I only began to provide my intel for people who were paying me accordingly, wanting my information, recognizing me. And that changed my life radically. And it did take some time and adjusting. I had to quit corporate and, start an entirely new life. But it was magical. I was able to, now unwind and work a lot less. I'm able to be in my incredible life purpose with my beloved partner who recognizes me, and able to replace my corporate career salary and work a lot less and pay off all of my debt. And so my life was radically shifted. So, projectors, that is your initiation and that is your experiment, is to learn how to wait. And recognition really is about feeling those people who really get you. And believe me, it feels like getting breath for the very first time. I have some of my projector clients who, when they tell me about, the first time they were seen, and they like their whole body came alive and they just felt so nourished and blessed. It was really, really exciting to watch, and it is exciting to watch. So projectors, that's the experiment. Now, let's talk to my manifestors. We got a couple of you on the call. So let's talk to our manifestors. You know what? I forgot I could show some of these chats. So Melissa says, wow, confirmation. Everything you just said, I posted to set my boundaries. I just came in from sitting in front of the sun for an hour. Isn't that amazing? Right? How cool is that? I love it. So, manifestors, type in the chat. Who are my manifestors? I want to talk to you for a minute. Manifestors, you are fast, you are amazing, and you are here to make shiz happen. So, let me explain to you what the manifestor commitment is to live your experiment. So, one of the things we know about manifestors is that oftentimes the manifestor is shut down from so many years of people being uncomfortable around your aura. Okay, so projectors are uncomfortable too because they have a little laser that the laser like sticks people in the center of the G center, and we can see, we have insight, and so it's uncomfortable for people to get that information if they haven't invited. So it's actually protection for our projectors. But for our manifestors, okay, you guys have an aura that is impacting. And so when you're walking in a room, you make an impact. So most manifestors, and I'm not saying this is all of you because I don't know, I haven't heard everybody's story, but a lot of manifestors, when they were children, people just aura mechanically are intimidated by that energy. And so what happens is the collective tries to stop a manifestor from manifesting, and they get conditioned to be generators. So we are all conditioned to be generators. Okay. 70% of the population are generators, and manifesting generators and generators. You guys, I love you. You rule the world. You rule the world. And so, what a gift it is when you learn how to use the manifestor and the projector to support you, and how we can learn as projectors and manifestors not to get caught up in the generator world. So, and how we can do that. So, for manifestors, when you walk into a room, your aura is like saying, "Get out of my way. I'm here to manifest something." It's kind of like a bowling ball, right? It's moving very fast. And so you impact all the auras around you. And so you have to learn, first of all, if you've been imploded. So if you've been imploded, that means you've been shut down and you've been living like a generator and you feel angry. So, my manifestors, if you feel angry, that means you haven't fully tapped into your manifestation power, but don't worry, I'm going to help you out. All you need to do is learn to accept the fact that you are super powerful and that you have a lot of things to manifest. Okay. And so manifestors have to learn when they walk into the room to inform those people who are there what you're going to be doing. Informing is the great experiment for our manifestors. Okay. So manifestors, are here to be the starters. They are here to provide the ignition for new creative experiences. So if you're working or you're in an office and you happen to be a manager or a CEO, or if you're an entrepreneur and you have manifestors on your team, you got to let them loose. You got to let them loose to do their own thing and to start things and be the starters. So, manifestors, you are here to sort of get the download. This is what I'm here to manifest. You don't have to wait. Okay. I mean, in a way, you wait because you're getting the clarity. And then what you want to do is you want to move forward in peace. You want to move forward with your manifestation in peace. And then you inform people what you're going to do and watch the red carpet roll out for you, because everybody wants to serve the manifester. I can do this for you. I can help you with this. I can do that. So the manifester's experiment is to inform. And so that's the commitment, to see what it feels like instead of having this do it yourself. Like, manifestors have a hard time delegating because they're so fast and they can do things faster than everybody. Like, why should I delegate? Why should I tell anyone what I'm doing if I can get this done really fast? And so manifestors, that is your journey, is to learn that like your aura is impactful and powerful, but this is your gift. And you are here to live in peace. It's not just about manifesting stuff, it's about manifesting peace. Now, my generators and my manifesting generators, okay? Type in the chat if you're a generator or a manifesting generator. Do we have any reflectors on the call? On the live? Both your boys are manifesting generators? Oh my god. I feel as if I'm a generator that's been living as a manifestor life. Yeah. So, um, generators and manifesting generators, here's the thing. You guys have really been trained to live as manifestors. Well, a lot of us are trained to live as manifestors because manifestors are the ones who do know how to manifest. Okay. So, a lot of the world was created by manifestors. And so the just do it mentality, the go out and make something happen, that's all conditioned by the manifester. Okay. And so generators are living in frustration, which is the not self theme for generators. They're living in frustration because they're out there taking on this motto, just do it. Go out there, have a download, and make it happen. And it causes frustration for my generators. So if you're a generator or a manifesting generator and you have struggled with creating the beautiful life, the visionary life, the inspired, or if you're not feeling like you're on purpose in your life, it could be because you haven't learned the art of how to wait to respond. And that is the experiment for my generators and my manifesting generators. And here's the little trick, is you are very busy. Generators and manifesting generators, you've got a lot of energy. And so what happens is you guys are busy, 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 making things happen, working, 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 and or being a mom, being at school, being a student, being, just doing stuff, that waiting to respond is really actually very, very, very hard for you to do. So Susan, Vicky, Geneva, Cassie. Oh, you guys, we've got a lot of generators. Wow. Do we have any manifesting generators? Where's my MGs? MGs are even faster than generators. So does that make sense? That that the not self theme is frustration, right? Whoops, sorry, you guys. Fix my camera there. Still looks like it got blurry somehow. Come on. Melissa has 2 MG boys. They're very fast. Yeah, so it's a lot of movement. So here's the experiment for my manifesting generators, okay? And generators. So, what this feels like is instead of doing, and so here's the other thing, I work with a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs and spiritual beings who have had spiritual experiences because that's my background, that's where I come from. So I work with a lot of people who are just a little bit woo or a lot of bit woo like me who have had a lot of spiritual experiences. And so when you've had all kinds of spiritual experiences, what human design does is it gives us a little bit more of a systematic roadmap so that we know how to operate on the earth plane. So if you've had a lot of spiritual experiences like I have in my life, and you have trouble operating on the earth plane, it's what human design is, it gives you the roadmap on the system. It's kind of like the same thing as all of a sudden getting an upgraded tool like a GPS system in your car. Okay, so when you get a GPS system, you plug it in, and all of a sudden you have a new tool that takes you where you want to go. And it's such incredible high technology. It was, I think it was Clinton who they were using it in the army. It was a technology that he said, you know what, everybody needs this. And so think of what happened when we were able to like get rid of those old maps, remember? And that all of a sudden we had and now we have everything on our phones available to us at all times to get us wherever we need to be. So this is what the upgrade knowledge of human design will do for you. It gives you your personalized system that takes you to the right people, the right careers. And so Ra Uru, the founder of human design, has said that there is a spiritual realm that is different than human design. And so it is good to know, and I like to make sure that I work with both, but there is a spiritual realm that we can integrate and move through our bodies, and then there's the physical realm, which is our physical vehicles. And then we have sort of like this mental realm. And human design works between the mental and the physical. And so, what it's saying is that there's an evolution happening from the mind to the vehicle intelligence. And when you use your GPS system, which is your strategy that I'm telling you about, and your inner authority, that is your guidance system to direct you on this earth plane. Okay. So generators have to learn how to slow down enough to wait to respond. So let me explain to you generators and manifesting generators what your aura looks like. So your aura is big and enveloping and attracting. So what it's doing, so we know that the projectors have like a laser. We know that the manifestors are impacting and the generators are attracting. So isn't it great to know we're all different? We're all here to like be in the world differently and manifest differently. Kind of changes everything. It kind of changes like everything every coach is explaining for us what to do, every motivational teacher, like everything is changed if you know that we are unique and we are different. So, for the generators and manifesting generators, there is an aura that your aura is pulling things to you. So, if you're busy, 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 busy moving, you do not necessarily always get to see all the things you're attracting into your aura. Okay, so what happens is instead of attracting, you're initiating and you push things away. The initiation is pushing all of those things in your life away. So, the experiment for my generators and manifesting generators is to learn how to slow it down before you make big decisions and big actions. So, big actions would be like, I'm just going to use some entrepreneurial language to give you some examples. Okay. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're like, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel, I want to do a podcast, or I want to create a membership site. Like there's so many things you can do in entrepreneurship, right? So how do you know what to do? Well, generators, they end up just doing everything. They're like, oh, I'm going to do this. I have all these ideas. I'm going to, and they're busy. And then it causes frustration if it doesn't work out in the way that they think it's going to work out. So what the idea here, the experiment is, and you want to try this with kind of everything in your life. And when I say the experiment for 3 months, that's you saying, hey, for the next 3 months, I'm going to see what it feels like to wait to respond. Okay. So let me explain, generators, how this works. So you're pulling everything to you. So you have this idea. I want a podcast. I want a YouTube channel. I want to start a membership site. Which one should I do? You don't do anything. You just wait. And that's going to be very counterintuitive to you. Now, it's not like you sit on the couch and binge Netflix and eat bonbons all day. It means that you go about doing all the things that you love to do in life. You feel satisfied. You do the things. Oh, I like to run. I like to, take care of things, your self-care, but you don't take any initiation or action on your new ideas. You guys with me? You guys with me on this? My generators and MGs? You guys following? So you have this idea, you wait, and then you're looking for an outside confirmation. Okay? So an outside confirmation would be something like you go to have lunch with a friend and your friend says, you know what? This is the best conversation I've ever had. You should start a podcast. You need to have your own podcast. And that's like, boom. That's your outside confirmation. And that means the universe is saying it's the right time. That's the right direction. This is the right choice. All systems go. You can head forward on that. Okay. So then it's just stopped you from doing a membership site, a YouTube channel, and everything else that you thought you had to do because you waited for the right timing and you waited for that outside confirmation. Now, the big thing with all of you guys who are also on a spiritual path is that the outside confirmation is not an inner download. Okay, so a lot of people get downloads or spiritual awakenings and spiritual alignment. So you want to actually wait for someone outside of you to give you that confirmation. Okay, so that's your experiment. So does that make sense to you guys? You've always had trouble with big decisions staying grounded in the body, and I'm great at starting stuff but following through, right, Susan? That's exactly it. That's exactly it. So this is the experiment. Okay. And this is the experiment that I want to take you guys on. This journey for the next couple of months is playing with this. Now, I did not introduce to you guys your inner authorities yet, but I'm going to do that. We can do that in our initiation. So I am going to be doing an initiation next week, which means I'm going to be turning up the energy just a little bit and igniting the journey. And I'm going to go through a little bit more of your inner authority. Now, this is going to be a free initiation, and you're all invited if you'd like to come on the journey with me. But you do need to get a link. So it's going to be on a Zoom session. I'm going to have a guest appearance. And we are going to create a spiritual frequency that is a little bit more intimate. So that's why I want to do it on Zoom. I'm going to take you guys through an energetic ignition of your inner authority. Now, let me just explain to you some of the things that have happened to some of my clients who follow this experiment. I've had generators who have, if a generator comes to me and already has a very successful business, but they're burned out and they're working way too hard and they're making a certain amount of money each month and they don't know how they're going to double that because they're already working at full burnout mode. When I tell them to stop and slow down, it's crazy for them. But all of a sudden, when they begin to slow it down and learn how to wait, all of a sudden their energy comes back in their body and they begin to have synchronicities galore, and their business begins to get, so much easier. And instead of chasing all of their business, it starts coming to them. So that's just one of the many things. A couple of my manifester clients, when they found out they were manifestors, they had like a lifelong dream that they wanted to publish a book. And within a couple of months of finding out that they were a manifestor and they didn't need to hide their light, they didn't need to worry about intimidating people, all of a sudden a publisher just immediately came in. So like a lot of synchronicity and magic starts to happen, not just where you're feeling peaceful, satisfied, and for projectors you're feeling successful, but life begins to shift and change and manifest, and all kinds of synchronicities start to happen. And it really is, but you have to take it on. You have to take on the experiment. You can't just be like, oh, that was interesting. You have to be like, what does it really mean to respond? What does it really mean to wait for the recognition? And so that's going to be the contemplation you guys will have for the week. So do you guys want to come join me for this initiation on Zoom? Please type in the chat so I know who to send the link to. All you need to do is type in a yes. Now, there is one other thing I want you guys to know. We are running a little bit of a special right now. If you are listening to the replay, if you do share or comment on any of our videos, we are doing a big drawing at the end of July. We will be giving away some of our content, and I got some really, really amazing prizes for you guys. So if you're listening to the recording, or if you're here live and you haven't typed in the chat yet, just go ahead and type something in. And you can type in a yes if you want to join us, or type in your strategy. And your name is also going to go into a drawing, and I am going to do some beautiful raffles for my community. So we're having just like the most incredible summer. We want to give back. We're so excited to have all of you guys in our community. So that's part of the reason why we're doing this. And also, it's a way for us to give back. And also a way for you guys to learn some of our amazing products that we have. So we're going to be exposing our new products as we get them, and kind of sharing them with you, and so you get to see what we have. And then we're going to do this great grand prize. So also we are giving out raffles for each person whose name is in the chat. And also, if you share, we are giving out raffles for that as well. So like, share, subscribe to the channel, those kind of things. We're checking across YouTube and Facebook. Okay, so let me see here. So let's see. Okay, so awesome, Adele, Kelly, Estelle, Vicky, yeah, Susan, awesome, Cassie, Kelly, awesome, awesome, Bree, yay. Okay, Ms. B, Geneva, awesome, Laughing Through Life. Okay, so it looks like most of you guys are on Facebook. Laughing Through Life, you are on YouTube, so you need to give me your email address. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys mine. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to email support at raquelreina.com. And all you need to do is just put initiation in the subject line. Initiation. And also, if you're listening to the recording, just email me. It's going to be next Thursday, the same time. So just put it in your calendar, July 14th at 4:44. It's going to be on Zoom, and it's going to be an energetic initiation. And I'm also going to go through some of your inner authorities to assist you guys in living the design and taking on the experiment. So Erica, awesome. 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 I'm so excited, you guys. So one of the things I'm doing also is I have a group right now, Manifestation by Design. Thank you, Vicky. So Manifestation by Design, I'm igniting the brainwaves. So if you guys know, we exist most of our day in beta, but when we move into alpha, that's when we actually move into our signature theme. Did you know that? So when we move into alpha, and alpha is kind of like when you visualize. So like right now, if I ask you guys to imagine a huge bouquet of roses and you put your nose up to it and you just smell, you can kind of already take in the energy, and that just that alone shifts you into alpha. And so when you shift your brainwave frequencies, did you know you learn more and you're able to absorb more information, and you also can move into spontaneous levels of healing and spontaneous manifestations. And so what I do is I take all my clients through to higher brainwave frequencies as they begin the initiation process. And so the last thing I'm going to leave you guys with today is why this is so important in this time in history. Okay, so if you guys have watched any of Human Design, you know, and if not, I will tell you, we are in a 411 year global cycle epoch. And the global cycle is moving in 2027 into an entirely new incarnation cross. So it's kind of like if you were to read the Human Design chart for the collective, the entire collective consciousness is moving into a new mechanics. And so, what that means is that we are going to be shifting the entire grid of our consciousness. And it's so incredible to witness it. And if you want to learn more, I actually do have a couple videos on YouTube about it. It's the 2027 shift. You will not believe, if you just look or mechanically at that shift, you'll see all of the things already starting to happen. So, what's happening is Human Design is that spiritual cord that is going to give us the ability to move through these chaotic times. And it's also this time of the great spiritual awakening, moving from the 3D to the 5D, which is seen in the law of one, which is an actually bigger cycle of 10,000 years. So not only are we in a 411 year cycle as based on Human Design, we're also in a 10,000 year cycle as based in ancient teachings. And so we're going through a transformation. You can see it. There's a lot of change. A lot of systems are falling apart. And so this is a really important time to initiate the spiritual awakening. So for all of you guys who are here on YouTube and you want to join in, so Sarah, I think Sarah, Laughing Through Life, whoever else here, Erica, whoever else is on YouTube, you guys need to actually email me. If you're on Facebook, I can private message you and send you the Zoom link. Okay, or you can email me. So you do need to get the Zoom link for next week. It's going to be a very, very powerful initiation. And until then, you each have your strategy to experiment with this week and see what happens. If you experiment and have a couple of ahas and magical experiences, bring them next week and share with the group. So thank you guys all so much for being here live. It's such a joy and an honor to connect with all of you amazing souls. I know you guys are on such an incredible spiritual journey. I know this is a fun little piece to the puzzle. For me, it was such a game-changing piece of the puzzle, so I cannot wait to share it with you. So I will see you guys all next Thursday. Mark it in your calendar, 444. It will be on Zoom. So I will look forward to seeing you guys all then. Okay. And looking a little bit more deeply in your charts. So we will go a little bit more deeply into the inner authority. So I'm so excited. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Estelle. Thank you, everybody, for being here live. I'm so, so grateful for all of you. Thank you, Cassie. All right, so you guys ready to take the experiment this week? You ready to take it on? Yeah? You guys feeling inspired? See what happens? Do not believe me. Do not take my word for it. But if your soul brings you synchronicities, brings you magic, you know that this is material that is for you. And trust me, all of my clients, I'm going to say 100% of my clients, have all had magical synchronicities, transformations like crazy. So I'm guaranteeing if you experiment with this stuff, your life will change. All right, you guys. So I will see you all next week. Mwah. Kisses to all of you. And I will also see you in the Facebook group this week. Until then, bye, everyone.